welcome here. And again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule.
No, it's my pleasure, my pleasure. Happy to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you too. Um, can you see, did my,
No, I don't see you. I see like a sunset and somebody fishing.
okay, very weird. Because I did have a little profile there. Um, and behind me was actually very wonderful photo done by our photographer in-house,
Oh,
Lena Lott,
oh.
that was inspired by your scent, Be Earnest. Um, and that sort of playfulness that
Ah, you know this point too?
yeah.
Okay, because they just have like two new out like last week.
Oh, which
Yeah,
two?
you have to check out our two. One is vanilla rum, vanille royal, which is a beautiful vanilla with rum,
Yeah.
and one that is maybe my little favorite is like with pistachio.
Ooh, that one actually
You
sounds
know, like
really good.
in France, we have like we are lucky because we have also there is like a Lebanese ice creamer, which is very beautiful, incredible ice cream based on pistachio roasted and everything. So we ate this pistachio. I don't see you all the time.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out, and for some reason,
It's
it's not in
okay,
Chinese.
whatever. Oh. Okay, so yeah, check out Birosi, the latest launch. Okay, now it's okay. Can you speak?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. There we go. We'll do it like this. You'll just have to
Okay.
imagine I'm there.
Okay, no worry, no worry.
Um, I wanted to say I got to smell both of your Be Rosie and Be Earnest and
Ah,
some very wonderful scents. And immediately with the Be Earnest, I got these images of my childhood, and it was just a very that freshness and kind of innocence that you have in that Be Earnest
mm,
perfume.
mm.
Absolutely wonderful.
And the two women, the two Quebecois girls, women, not girls, women, they are adorable.
Yeah.
They they are, I don't know, like, I guess they are two friends or whatever, but they are just, like so positive, fun to work, always nice, adorable. So, and yes, and we are working with EWG verified. It's like you have to check out what it means really, but it's like environment norm, like a transparency, good for you, whatever. And it was quite challenging to check all the stuff they ask, but we did it. We made it good, and and it smells nice.
Yeah. Well, and that's the most important part, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yes. Voila. Also, I also have another Canadian client. It's called Zoologist.
Oh, okay.
You know this brand?
It sounds very familiar.
Oh, huge fan base. Huge fan base. And they have like very weird smell, sometimes, inspired by camel, like a dinosaur, like all kind of animals. The drawing are so beautiful, so cute. And me, I was inspired by a cow.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah, and at first, I said, "Oh, you hate me already. Why you give me a cow?" And actually, I thought it was so fun to do a cow.
Yeah.
With the milky, like the grass. It's a happy cow. So yes, if you can check it out also one day, it's fun.
Honestly, that one sounds very cool. I'm
Yeah, it's a cool
excited.
brand. It's like a crazy brand, but each time he's launching something, everybody's is going getting crazy with it.
Yeah. No, absolutely fantastic. Um, Kind of on that same topic, what sort of inspires you to pick the ingredients that you do, and at what point do you know those ingredients are perfect for your perfumes?
Wow. It's like when you cook in a way, when you paint or whatever, in a way you don't know in advance, but it's the right thing to do. I have, I think, a very strong technique, but also I'm very intuitive. So it's a blend of both. It's inspiration. It's like telling a story, listening to my client, and after also adjusting also to their budget. And I'm lucky because working with a niche perfumes, the budget most of the time is higher, so you can use very beautiful ingredients that it's difficult to use for more mass market brands.
Very cool. And I like how you compared it to cooking there, because I mean, that is essentially what you do. You cook up these wonderful perfumes for, everyone
Yeah,
to buy.
but also when I cook a lot. I do a lot of cooking, but it always starts indeed with like picking the fresh vegetable, the good fish, the good meat, and sometimes you have to start with something good to cook. It's the same in perfume in a way. You pick your best.
That's really cool that you can kind of take some of that experience and apply it there. Um,
Oh, yes, yes. I think it's the same. Like when you're a perfumer, of course, I guess you cannot have you don't buy not good quality meat or
yeah,
vegetable or fruits. Yes, I'm very peculiar with that. Yeah, I always cooked a lot.
kind of on
Almost like almost every day I cook.
it allows you to be very creative as well in that sense if you're cooking
It's
every day.
like it's like who you are, I guess.
You've had the chance to work with a lot of big brands. Um,
Yes,
and you've recently kind of pivoted to working with some more niche brands.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Do you find that that sort of pivot has been hard, or do you find it's given you more freedom?
It's the best thing I've done. I loved, 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 loved. But I started like 40 years ago, and 40 years ago, the clients they were like you have like somebody with a strong art direction. You didn't do tests. I loved it. And after when testing came and big company came, I was fine at the beginning. But one day I woke up and I was like, didn't make sense. I was looking. Like in France, you say besoin de sens, like you need a sense, a meaning for life.
Mhm.
And me, I'm very passionate. I just love what I do, and so yes, it was very important for me. I feel like a perfumer again, working independent. I feel like a perfumer, meaning that it's like, I'm a creator. I like to work with the art director. And for me, niche, what is niche is that the people has a vision, which is difficult to do when you're working with a big company, when you have a market director or marketing director. It's not their own vision. So I'm happy. I'm very happy to feel like I am a perfumer again, that I'm working, with people who has ID vision. Voilà. So yeah, so I'm very happy because I feel like a perfumer again. Like meeting people. I'm so happy to meet so many different people all over the world. I have clients in like 35 countries all over the world. So I have a big diversity of projects. Like people, the tastes in the Middle East are very fascinating, but I'm not bored to do that because I do it many times. But I also people in China, in Taiwan, in Singapore, in Europe, in Canada. So it's very diverse.
I love that, and I love to hear it.
Mm,
Would you say that you feel like it's allowed you to kind of be more of yourself?
totally. Not only be myself, but also to feel like I'm a real perfumer again. Because I'm not just doing the same perfume all over again because he's a good tester. There is much more freedom to propose, to listen, to propose new story, and I don't have ego in the sense that if I propose a new idea, if my client doesn't like it, I'm fine. But I like the exchange, the discussion. And the discussion in niche, you have much more variety, diversities, and like in big group, you have to be the bestseller, and the bestseller basically you have to be the best tester, and best tester, if you don't put apple, fruit, musk, whatever, you are not a good sales. So at the end of the day, pretty much they all smell the same, the perfume. So in niche is different. You have much more freedom.
That's absolutely wonderful to hear and feel like a perfumer again. Uh,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
and also on that note, because I know you kind of spoke about it briefly in the beginning that you were very excited about the two new scents that you just created.
Mhm. Mm.
Do you feel kind of
Absolutely.
in your career, or maybe it's even recently, that there's been a scent that's just really kind of stood out to you that you've created?
And I would say a few. Enfin, a few. I think that each perfume you do has something special because there is always a story behind a relationship, a rencontre, uh, a meeting with people. But I think that the very first one that is close to my heart is Elysium because I was 26 in New York, so 26-year-old in New York, and it was the very first perfume that I really did, and it really started from like a very creative accord. So yes, even though it was not a huge success, it's still very close to my heart. I would say that Eau de Merveille also, it's a very important perfume for me, created with Ralph Sugar. But it's like a ovni, something that didn't look like anything else on the market, and that it's becoming a classic. So yes, I'm happy about that. And now that I am independent as a niche, so many perfumes, so many stories. I don't know. Almost all of them are my favorite babies.
And I mean, that's fair. It's kind of like picking between children, right? You can't
Oh,
pick
yeah,
just
no, it's always
one.
no. And of course, but you cannot say. I don't know. No, it's difficult to pick. To pick.
Do you happen to have a certain secret towards your perfume making? Something that
If I had a secret, I would not tell you. But I like actually, I like to, this is something a lot of perfumers always say, but it's very true for me. I like to reduce my formula to only pick I like to have an equilibrium, a balance between my ingredient, and I like that every ingredient has a meaning in my formula. I don't like very huge formula that you don't even know what is what. And I like, to my formula to have a memory, something distinctive, but a big but, I like them to be wearable. I don't like just to be different for the sake of being different because like you can be different and not wearable. And this, okay, sometimes you can do because it's a experimental brand, but at the end of the day, you need to wear the perfume on your skin.
and sort of in that stream of questioning, is there maybe any particular ingredients or, parts of scents that you keep coming back to that you find I put a little bit of this in every one of them?
Yeah, yeah, I see. Yes, of course. I actually, when you are independent perfumer, you have access to some palettes that a big company cannot have because they are too expensive or because the worldwide production is too small to be used in a mass market product. So, for example, for Amafi, I don't know, I use Champaca Absolute for Tango Forever, which is one of my favorite perfume, and I love the bottle. I am obsessed. This is for sure. Also, again, my palette, I like Light since many years. I cannot do a formula without Light. So this is my little favorite musk. I like wood, I like spice, but also, what is more important is really like listening to a story. And if people like something that I don't like, of course I will try to do it. I don't need to like the story. Otherwise, I would do like two perfume in my life. No, what I like is like to have new brief with something that I don't need to like it. What I like is to think about something different. I like to experiment.
I love to hear that. And I think too, just listening from it, your love to experiment has also allowed you to create all of these fantastic scents.
Mm, mm,
And
mm.
honestly kind of own that title of Queen of Perfume.
Oh, not me. I didn't say that.
Not you. I It's been argued among people that you are sort of the Queen of Perfume with
Oh, you are
those.
sweet. You are sweet. You are very sweet.
I just take what I've
I'm
read.
very lucky to work with something that I love to do.
Well, and I think that's fantastic. And I think that's
Mm.
also something that is amazing to hear from you is just, you know, this love for your craft and you don't necessarily see it as some.
Totally. Even after 40 years, almost not every day, but almost every day, I'm like, how lucky I am. Mm.
Um,
I don't get bored.
I love that. Because you've also been doing this for so many years, how have you seen the industry change sort of over your.
Oh, many wave, in the 90s, whatever, you had the consumer tasting, and everybody were doing that. You have new technology sometimes with the headspace, but like recently, I can see two or three trends. One, I don't know what's going to happen with AI, but certainly that if you want to adjust a perfume for a shampoo or a cheaper version or whatever, I'm sure that at one point AI will be better than perfumer. AI will change something. So, and I'm 59, so I don't even care about AI because but if I was 25, definitely I would take care of AI. It's something that you have to understand how it works. So this is one thing. Another trend is like, which is kind of marketing driven, is like more and more natural. Everything has to be natural, but it's not possible and it's not always true. And you have so many issues with it. But people love more and more to have natural product to go back to the root. And I think as a third, a big trend is the rise of niche perfume, where people really want to be unique, to have a memory of themselves, to have experiment. And I think it's more and more important. Now around me, nobody buy Sephora. I don't want to say anything bad. Sephora also have like a niche perfume now, but yes, I think it's a big trend. That you want. You can have your typical commercial perfume, which are fine, which are not easy to do, but fine. But I think that yes, more and more people want to be unique.
Now that you can see it, this was the beautiful image I was talking about that was inspired by your earnest perfume.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes, I
Kind of
see.
Helena was able to capture that sort of
That's
playfulness.
so cute, so nice. Thanks. Hi, thank you. It's
Yeah.
cute, uh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
No, she said she had a wonderful time being able to.
Ask her to check out the two new perfume.
I will, and I'm sure
Yeah.
she'll find some things to have fun with those as well. Because you've also been around the world, you've experienced a whole bunch of different cultures and whatnot. Have you taken anything from those cultures that you kind of keep with you in making these perfumes?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say until the 90s, like 100% of the perfume were French. And
Mhm.
French were like the master of good taste, elegance. But an elegance that was intimidating sometimes. You didn't, when you were 18 and if you didn't have like a big budget, you didn't feel comfortable. Sephora changed a lot of that actually. But also when I was in the 90s, I went to work between 1994 in New York City. And like Americans, they were straight to the point. They were looking for immediate perfume. Where in France, the tradition where you spray on your handkerchief, you came back 3 days. You know, you took time to see if you like the perfume. Where in the US, they say we don't have time. You have to buy in 30 seconds. So yes, the US taught me a lot. Like you have to be efficient. You have to know the story right on top. You have to have this hook, how they call it. After, there is another influence for me that like the Middle East with the oud. like 10, 15 years ago when I smelled it. I was like, oh, it doesn't smell good. And actually, you know, you acquire the taste, and you develop a taste, and you develop a way to work those perfumes. So yes, it's interesting because now you have influence from a lot of countries.
Kind of on that note as well, because you've stated in a lot of interviews and even in your own personal bios that Opium by
Mhm.
YSL is kind of what inspired you to start
Yeah,
really getting into perfume.
yeah.
What about that specific scent really did it and was kind of like, this is what?
Alors, first of all, I shouldn't have been a perfumer. You know, I come from a place where nobody is a perfumer. I'm not from a perfumer family. And, you know, like there is a town called Grasse in south of France. You know, I'm from east. So I was not supposed to be into perfume. So one day, for the first time, I asked to be sprayed, and she sprayed opium. And it was really like a stop in the street. It was a revelation. It changed my life. And from that, I was obsessed. And I thought at the time, Monsieur Saint Laurent was the one who created opium. Monsieur Cacherel, oh no, no. I didn't know the work of perfumer existed. So I always say, you know, one of the most creative things I've done in my life is I wanted to be to do a job that I didn't think it existed. So so I don't know. I got lucky. I wrote letters. I went to the post office. I went to the brand, and they explained to me, "Oh, blah blah." But we don't create. But company. I have no clue about this industry. And one day, somebody called me. It was the creator of Opium, and he said, "Oh, what is your favorite perfume?" I said, "Opium." He said, "Oh, I did it," and he hung down. And I said, "Oh, he's lying to me." Well, okay. Anyway, I was very lucky to be, I think, one of the first one, or the first one to be taken to the perfumery school in Grasse, the famous Roure Bertrand. Now it's called the Givaudan School. So I was very lucky.
And that's, I think too, that's inspiring for a lot of people to hear that might think,
Alors, don't get too inspired by that, because so many people want to be a perfumer nowadays. It's not very honest because there is not enough position for sure. A
okay,
lot of you know, a lot of young people, they do like perfumery school in France. There is like two, three, or four, and maybe one out of everybody would be a perfumer, maybe two or maybe zero. So it's very a lot of people wants to be perfumer nowadays, but it's very difficult. Not difficult because the job is difficult. It's difficult because there is absolutely no position, you know.
yeah.
We, there is not a lot of perfumer, even in big company. They don't need so many perfumers.
And I guess they kind of have their formula that they, especially for the big companies, that they sort of maybe want to stick to. So they're looking for,
Not even it's not even that. It's really like they don't need to have that many perfumer. You know.
okay,
Mm,
very interesting.
mm.
I was also kind of curious because you've worked, you know, so much in this perfume industry. Do you see it, because you've talked about kind of it changing throughout your life? Do you have any predictions for maybe how it's going to change in the future or
This is what I told you before. You know,
yeah,
I think AI will play a role, and after the big company will still be the big company, but I think you will have also now. I don't know. I think niche perfume it will be more and more interesting, even for the big company. Mm. Something to be unique.
too, do you have you kind of seen sort of more of, and you've said that you've seen sort of more of that change in people wanting to be unique and seeking out these niche perfumes.
Yeah.
Do you
Mm.
feel like we'll also then start to see kind of more niche companies around perfumes kind of start to pop up?
Alors, you know what? There is also something very embarrassing subject, because there is a lot of perfumery school in France, and after the people are very disappointed because they don't find a job, and their dream is to be a perfumer. So now it's very recent. You have a few, many, whatever, who start in their kitchen. But I don't know, you can get lucky and to mix a few stuff and be okay. But I think being a perfumer, it's a lot more than that. You need to have your own creation, your more the way to work, and there is so many things around that. And I know they have no experience, so I'm kind of puzzled. And some try and they disappear, some try and they succeed. But I don't think I would encourage that. I think it's better to learn your job with very serious perfumer in big company, and then maybe you can do your own company.
As you get bigger, you've also won a lot of awards.
Oh,
How yeah, how have those awards kind of impacted your career?
ah, I don't know when I went independent, when I founded my company, awards. I thought, okay, awards are not for me. You need to be a big company to get award. Um, and the very first one I got, I think it was in 2017, I think, for Aides de Venustar. And I think 1 or 2 years after, I got one for Floral. After, I also got the Perfumer of the Year. But the very first one I got, I was I was like, I don't know. I remember one of my speech was, "It tastes even better when you are independent, because when you win an award for when you are in big company, it's also the company is like a big team around you, which is great to share and blah blah. It's like in a movie. It's like it's not just you. It's like everything around you. So when I won award as independent, I was totally shocked, and I thought it was really the first time I liked it. I like to have an award because it's even more precious to have recognition of my peer being independent than when you are in a big company where you have so much support.
And would you also say that's probably the most, like, pivotal award in your career as well?
I think those awards meant more than before. But actually, I don't wake up every day to thinking, oh, my goal is to have an award. In a way, I don't care.
Mhm.
In a way, I don't care. But it's true that when you have them, it's of course very important. You realize that is very touching and humbling to have a recognition from the industry, from your pair, that even though you are in a small you are very small, you have one of the smallest company, that you can be recognized like that. Yeah, it was touch it was humbling. I was moved by that.
Yeah.
And my clients are very happy also.
No, I bet that must be, you know,
Yeah,
also
but no, I got a lot of awards those last year, but truly, I never, I don't know what, lobbied, whatever, to have one. It's always they came, and I think it's more beautiful like that.
absolutely wonderful. Um, and I think too that also just speaks to how in love with your craft you are, that
Oh,
and your love shines through for that with people,
yeah,
just
it's easy.
finding a way to congratulate you with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you find at all that you're ever inspired by, because you mentioned also that when you're creating your perfumes, you're inspired sort of by certain memories or things like that. Are there ever any day-to-day experiences or things that happen in your life that
In
really
a, yeah, in a way, everything and nothing.
Mhm,
Everything and nothing, you're a sponge. So sometimes you are somewhere you don't even realize, and after poof, you do something, and maybe there is a link, but it's not conscious. And sometimes you create an accord, you don't use it, and after 10 years later, you can use it. It's it's not it's not a rule that you follow, to get inspired.
mhm.
You get inspired by everything. I feel like I am a sponge. Like you go to a good restaurant, you go to a country, you don't need to analyze or whatever. You just live the moment, and after the moment, stay with you, and you use it later. But you don't know when you're gonna to use it.
On that note, did you have any final sort of words for anyone that is reading this interview, watching this interview,
Ah,
kind of take with them for
ok.
perfume?
Alors, you know what, perfume, I don't think there is good or bad perfume. Whatever perfume that make you happy, beautiful, seductive, comfortable, it's the best perfume in the world. Period. Even if it's like a supermarket perfume or the most expensive one, you need to love it. Having said that, go have fun, explore, try, go to a niche perfume store, go to sites. There is so many options out there. Really, you can ask the sample. It's fun to explore and to find something that is maybe more specific for you. I think it's great. It's better. It's voilà. So I have two positions. It's like whatever, even if it's like a supermarket product. If you feel beautiful, wear it, keep it. But one day maybe you can also try to go with something with like more like a creator, a vision, and maybe you can explore different paths. And I think there is a lot of beautiful thing to discover.
Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Perfect, lovely talking to you.
Yeah, lovely talking to you as well.
Thank you. Bye bye. You too. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.